How do HTTP status codes improve REST API communication? Imagine trying to understand a message without any clues about its meaning. That's what communicating with a REST API would be like without HTTP status codes. These codes act like signals that tell you what's happening behind the scenes. When you build Apis with Express, a popular framework for Node.js, these codes become your best friends. They help your server and client speak the same language clearly and quickly. HTTP status codes are 3-digit numbers grouped into 5 categories based on their first number. The first category, 100, means the server is just saying it received your request and is working on it. 200 codes tell you your request was successful. For example, a code of 200 means everything went fine, and the server is sending back the data you asked for. If you see 201, it means a new resource was created successfully. 300 codes are about redirection. They tell your client to go somewhere else to complete the request. 400 codes are 4 errors caused by the client. For example, 404 means the resource you asked for isn't there. 400 means your request was bad or malformed. 500 codes are server errors, like 500 and internal server error, which means something went wrong on the server side. When you're making Apis with Express, these codes help keep everything running smoothly. They give immediate feedback without needing to look at the whole response body. If your client gets a 404, it knows the resource is missing without extra work. If it gets a 500, it knows there's a problem on the server. This makes debugging easier because you can quickly identify if the issue is with the client or server. Using standard codes also makes your API easier to understand for other developers. They can see what each code means and handle errors properly. For example, if a client gets a status of 401, it knows it needs to log in or get permission first. If it gets a 500, it might try again later or report an issue. In Express, you set these codes in your responses. For example, after fetching data successfully, you send back a status of 200. If something is wrong with the request, you send 400. If the server has a problem, you send 500. This way, everyone knows what's happening just by looking at the status code. HTTP status codes also help with security. Codes like 401 or 403 tell the client about access issues. This helps prevent unauthorized access and keeps your API safe. They also make your API more reliable because clients can react correctly to different situations. To sum up, HTTP status codes are a simple but powerful tool. They make communication between your server and client clear, quick, and consistent. When building REST Apis with Express, using these codes correctly helps everyone understand what's happening, troubleshoot issues faster, and make your API more dependable. They are the language that keeps your API interactions smooth and predictable.